Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Foxy Box's map making with Sparks. This is a camera system which has been submitted to me by HDP11. I just wanted to show it off because I think it's kind of cool and it sort of addressed some of the things that we wanted from our camera system. But you can see that you can use WASD to move the armor stand around, and the camera kind of pans to follow it. And you can also jump by right-clicking with the carrot on the stick. It's pretty neat. I like it. However, the screen jitter we're seeing here, even if we're just stood completely still, and also when the camera pans, is not quite like... This is the reason I didn't want to use this kind of camera, because while mechanically this is working really nicely and I really like the panning and stuff and it looks really cool, and I really appreciate HDP submitting this, the jitter is just, personally for me, not something that I'm happy with for this project. Just I think it's going to be a bit jarring for people to play with that. But I just wanted to show it off because I think it's still really nicely designed. There's a lot of cool camera stuff going on here. It's just Minecraft's fault, basically, for not letting us do this in a jitter-free way. Otherwise, beautifully designed. But I just wanted to show it off. Today we're going to be working on the Foxy Box's server on the box breaking mechanics. There's this moment before the resource pack loads in where everything looks a little bit interesting. So at the end of the last episode, you might have seen very briefly that the box textures have been updated. There was some feedback for Duck, and I gave the same feedback that so the crates were a bit difficult to tell apart by their functionality. So Duck has kind of done some redesigning. I think they look really nice. So this is the jump crate. I think it's pretty clear if you jump on it, it's going to make you bounce, although it currently doesn't seem to. And this is the reinforced one, like the bounce one, which will bounce you a certain amount of times before it breaks. And then this is the one which you have to body slam. It's like properly reinforced. I think this is the TNT crate. Haven't really worked with this one yet at all. And then we have our regular crates over here. And I think I need to reload. I don't know if I mentioned last episode, by the way, but Transport Layer very kindly gave me a /reload command, so because last time I had to do Minecraft : /reload. Boing. Okay, so we have the very basics of a bounce mechanic already implemented. I just wanted to improve it a little bit this episode, because if you watch very closely, there's a moment between us landing and us bouncing which is really annoying me. So you jump, you land, and then you get launched, and it's kind of bugging me, and I want to try and fix it. I've been thinking a lot about, we need to do especially the bounce mechanics, but all of the box breaking mechanics before we start level design. And this is because the way that the boxes allow you to move in the level, and in general the kind of movement that the player has available to them in a level, will change how the level is designed, both in terms of like the puzzles and in terms of making sure they can't get out of bounds. So I've made the current amount of bounce that these boxes give you. If you don't hold space, it'll bounce you 1 block. And if you do hold space while bouncing, you can get up 3 blocks, which I think is a fairly nice jump height to be able to do things with. I think you can probably... And you'll notice if I just hop onto the box, it will not destroy the box, which I think is kind of nice. So you should be able to do some cool bouncy stuff. But there's a couple of issues with this that I need to fix, and we're going to do that this episode. For example, if I'm stood right here, the box will bounce me, but I won't break the box. So my system needs work. You'll notice that on the right-hand side, there's a fall scoreboard counter. I was trying to work out how I did this in the last Foxy Boxes, like how I calculate the downward velocity of the player. This one, I think, will just continuously bounce us. No? Oh yeah, okay. Wow, that's inconsistent. I guess if we do this, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, we need to fix this. I did a very quick version of this, but there's some things to fix. Anyway, the previous version of Foxy Boxes, I wondered how I did this vertical falling, because I thought, oh, there's probably a fall 1 centimeter statistic. There isn't. I found the video where I explained how I did it in the last version, and it's pretty janky. Like there's armor stands floating in the sky above you invisibly, and your fall distance is based on how much time you spend, or like what distance from that armor stand you are. So if you're falling downwards, it will increase your score until you land. So it's kind of the distance you've fallen statistic, and then it's kind of crazy. But anyway, this time what I've done is if we go over to my files, that's not my files. If we go over to my files, what I use now is the motion tag of the player. We can't edit player motion, but we can read it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the motion 1, the second value of the motion array, which is vertical motion, into the fall scoreboard, and then that'll give us, like, if we just stood still, we get minus 785, which I think is just sort of the gravity value, essentially, which we saw in episode 1 when we were in the minecart, which is just kind of how much you are constantly falling and being pushed up by the block. But anyway, as we jump, you'll see that number get a lot higher. It'll go into positives when we're moving upwards, and it goes into higher negatives when we drop. So what we do is under the jump on function, we basically, or under the main jumping function, we're just saying if the full number is less than or equal to minus 3000, which means that we have dropped a block or more, we allow the jumping, which means that if you just hop onto a block, nothing happens. Here's another thing. The way I'm currently launching players is there's a launch power scoreboard. If you set this to a number, it will count down that number every tick and give them levitation during that time until it reaches 1, at which point it clears the levitation effect. So by setting players who jump on a crate to have a launch power of 4, it means that we get 3 ticks of levitation, and then on the 4th tick, the levitation effect is cleared, so we can affect how high the player jumps. I believe that by decreasing the launch power value and increasing the actual levitation effect value, we would be able to launch them upwards faster, so we can choose how violently they jump up. So here I have this condition for bouncing off a box, which is that your full score is less than minus 1000, and also that you are on the ground. And I'm wondering whether this is what's messing with it. See, the thing is, if you're still in the air but inside the block space above this block, it would technically count this box as being below you. So I have a feeling that if I remove this, which might stop us from having the problem of being like that moment before we actually get launched by the box, or we just stand on the box. I think if we remove this, the problem will be that we are launched before we actually land, if that makes sense. Like if I reload now, I think we're going to fly before we hit the box. Okay, this is also interesting. I think if we do this... Okay, we do still land on the box. Interesting. I feel like the launching is a bit floaty at the moment as well. Okay, so I couldn't set the launch power to 2, so I set it to 3, which is 50% more than what we had before. So I set this to 22, which is almost 50% more than the 15 we had before, instead of the 30. And that seems to get us up to the same height, but with a slightly harder launch. Oops. I wonder whether giving them levitation here as well will make us bounce faster. I think we definitely need this on ground 1B tag, otherwise we have weird floating behaviours. And we definitely have to sort out how we do the boxes around us, but we'll get to that in a second. So it looks like you can test for blocks or execute if blocks in minus block spaces. So I can tell when I'm within 0.5 blocks of this block. So I should be able to narrow down how this smashing works by seeing how far I can shift off the edge. So it looks like when you're shifting on the very edge of one of these blocks, it's 0.3 off. So if I put down another block here and I shift over a tiny bit, this should now fail. But if I'm back on it with shifting onto the edge, then it passes. So it's 0.3. So jumping on this box should now launch me. But it doesn't break the box. Why not? Oh, I never this is why this has been happening the whole time. I never actually copied these numbers over to here. Here we go. Yeah. So if I put that here again, I shift right over to the edge, I place something and I move a tiny bit further, nothing will happen. If I move back, it should break. Okay. I think I'm okay with that mechanic. I think that if you can... Actually, maybe you should only... The point is that if you aim for a box and you catch the edge, you should still destroy it, so that jump puzzles like this one are more manageable. Like if you are trying to do this jump and you catch the edge of the block, you definitely want to bounce off of it. So I think I'm okay with this causing the block to break. I think that's okay. I think the levitation effect might be messing with my velocity, because it kind of slows down my initial fall to the point where my velocity doesn't count anymore as being... Because it's fine like this, although it seems to catch every other one. If I have levitation, it seems to ignore my fall. I should have a tellraw tell me what my velocity is when I land on a box so I can see what's going on. Perhaps the problem is that when my on ground turns to 1B, my fall score goes to minus 785 because I'm on the ground and my velocity's been cancelled. So sometimes they're not both true at the same time, if that makes sense. What I could do is only change the drop motion score of players who are not on the ground, so that if you land, you have a cache of your vertical velocity while you are falling. Let's try this. So now if I jump, my fall score should reload first. My jump score should stay at whatever it was when I landed, 3740, and it only updates when I'm in the air. So if I land on a box, 3740, maybe this will fix it. I'm landing on it with a score of minus 785. So removing the on-ground requirement has fixed it, but I have a feeling there's going to be a new bug. So I should be able to just do this now, no problem. But I think if I land on, say, this block over here, my score is... What? It reset to 785? $830? That's interesting. If you go up a block, it saves it as a... This is very inconsistent, isn't it? That's not good. Maybe we'll have to use the original method. I think that if I fell onto this block, now if I step on this, I will just automatically get launched. Yeah. Although this seems to be working now. I removed the requirement of so now the motion scoreboard is constantly updating regardless of whether I'm on the ground or not, and I removed the on-ground tag for this. Now it seems to be fine. I can walk on it, I can jump up onto it, I can jump. Seems to be working. Okay. Oh, did we just break two at once there? I also noticed that because I add to the launch score instead of set the launch score, breaking two boxes at once will actually launch you further. I wonder whether that means that jumping in the middle of a, or like jumping here, will launch us really high. Nope. That's fun though. That's looking okay. I'm happy with that. For now. Yeah. This thing should just bounce us constantly now. This is a lot higher than I thought it would bounce me, because I'm not pressing space. Why does this launch me so much higher than a regular crate? Maybe because when I'm launched, I'm already in the air, so I have like, I think maybe the block breaks, so I'm already falling a bit, so it has to arrest me. Like it has to arrest my motion, and some of the time is spent changing my velocity to positive. This one will also bounce me. This one won't. Yep. These, by the way, are supposed to be like hologram boxes, so we will have them held or on the head of an entity. So they are like translucent and you can walk through them, and they have no hitbox. And there will be a special type of crate, which we don't seem to have a texture for yet, which is like a trigger crate, and if you break it, it will make things in the level change, including solidifying these boxes. So I was looking at this and thinking that one way we could solve this is to change the launch power score given to you depending on what kind of box you jump on. But then it gets kind of complicated because A, we're destroying the box, and B, if you are in a situation like this where you have like this, how will you how do you get launched? So what I'm thinking instead is maybe instead of immediately destroying these boxes, we should leave the boxes for a tick and give them like a destroy command, which tells them to break a tick later, so that by the time you are launching, the box is still there, which should make all the boxes make you bounce the same height, and then it'll be destroyed a tick later, and then we can just lower the levitation power to get us back up to this 3-block jump height. Now all of these boxes are going to need an entity inside them anyway, an area effect cloud, to tell it what to do when it breaks. So what items to drop and things like that. So we're going to have to do that anyway. I believe the way I set this up last time was I had spawn eggs you could place to place the different boxes, and it just placed the box where the spawn egg was placed, as well as the internal entity. I guess we have a communicator texture now. Let's have a look at this. Getting distracted is my my primary skill. Ooh, Takacoms. I've got a spawn egg which I've set up with some code so that we can start working. It just places a regular box wherever I right-click with the creeper, and you'll see that it has a durability score. And the idea will be that when we jump on these boxes, instead of destroying the box, we'll take away 1 from the durability, and then the box will decide to destroy itself when its durability reaches 0 or -1. I was doing the same thing for the jump boxes, and I thought I'd use a slime because the slime is bouncy and it makes sense, but I had one issue with that. I think I may need to choose a different mob. The way I'm doing this, by the way, is just detecting the type of mob, and then I have some code which just sets the block type, summons an area effect cloud with the tag saying what kind of box it is, and then it also just adds a durability value. So you can see for the bounce box, which we want to bounce on several times before it breaks, we give it a higher durability. Okay, it kind of works, but it takes away more than 1 durability when you bounce on it, which isn't good. Okay, I think I fixed it. So we have a durability of 1 and a durability of 3. What I've basically given is an invulnerability tag. So what I say now is if the... Here we go. So I've only done the middle one at the moment, but if the score invulnerable is 0, then it's allowed to be damaged. And as part of the damage system, we set the invulnerability to 10. and our tick function just removes one invulnerability from anything with an invulnerability score of 1 or more. So that way this should work. So we'll jump on this. It should get it gets a score of 0. Boxes main. It gets a score of 0. If the score matches 0, it destroys the block it's in, and then it also sets its durability to -1, so it's not constantly trying to destroy the block it's in. So if we jump, it should just break, and this one should take 3 jumps before it breaks. 1, 2. Oh, this one's not taking any durability drop at all. Interesting. Oh, it's because we've classed jump boxes as not belonging to the destroy on jump category, because we previously didn't want them to be destroyed on jump. This should technically be the class damage on jump now. So currently the only box that's destroyed by jumping on it is the regular box. That's good, although it was also taking away the durability of every other one. Limit equals 1, sword equals nearest. I haven't fixed the problem yet, but I added a cool sound effect. I know what's happening. So the thing is looking for the closest area effect cloud to you to take away durability that is not invulnerable, but it's the invulnerability thing was to stop our bounce from affecting the thing more than once per bounce. So it's still like trying to damage the area effect cloud like 18 times. So what it does is the first time it tries, it finds the right one and it sets the invulnerability. Then it tries again. This one no longer matches the MBT tag, so it jumps to the next closest. I think we can fix this by removing the score check from this and putting it in the damage thing instead, like so. I think there's a better way to do this as well. I think I can just go if score at S invulnerable matches 0. So we should get, when I jump on this, we should get 1 and -2 and 2 -2s. Yeah, there we go. We fixed it, I think. It seems to be only affecting 1 now, and it's always affecting them, although our jump height still seems very random. Okay, cool. Bouncing is looking good, guys. I'm going to get rid of this limit equals 1 because we might actually have to destroy more than one or damage more than one block at a time, and instead we need to put a dx, dy, dz in here. So if we do 0.3 in the x and z, and then we do dx equals 0.6, dy equals 0, dz equals 0.6. I wonder if this will work. You guys probably already know when you're watching this. That did something, but I've added a cow as well, which resets all the crates and their durabilities and everything. Well, after a lot of playing around with dx and dy and dz, I got it working by not using them. I've just gotten all of this. I was playing with it for ages. I don't know whether I'm not putting in the right numbers or whether dx and dz doesn't support decimals, but this is the way I'm doing it now. I did just notice something right there, though, where we kind of bunny hop across the chest in kind of a weird way. I guess it works, though. But yeah, we should it should be working fine now. And I have this cow which resets everything for me, which I think I might have mentioned already, but yeah. Cool. Oh. What? What? Oh, right. The area effect clouds are despawning. I should set us a higher duration for them. Alright, so I think this is good for this episode. It's getting to the sort of time period I like to make for episode length. I think next episode, which may compromise of a stream edited down, I'm not sure yet. We're going to design a level because while we don't have the different methods of breaking the boxes like the dash and the spin and ground pound yet, the bouncing is the one that has the main effect on the level shape. So I think we're going to call it here for today, and next episode we will try and I really like this counting sort of thing. We'll work on some level design to change things up a little bit, and looking forward to some feedback. Somebody asked whether I was going to release like a dev pack, like a level design data pack for people to use to build levels. Not sure yet. I want to pay a lot of attention to how the levels are designed. So we'll see whether I accept level submissions. It would be nice to allow that, but I think I'm going to have very specific constraints in mind, and I need to work out what those are before I let people start designing levels, to make sure that the levels that are sent in match the kind of style we're looking for. But I'm sure I'm going to be doing a load of research over the next week on level design to find out all the little secrets and tricks, and I'll share the ones that I found interesting with you as we build a level template together. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your feedback as always, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Ciao.